Hello there, my darlings, and happy March. March is definitely coming in as a lion, and I'm hoping we'll leave as a lamb, but I'm not sure. That is something that we're going to have to play out in March because not only are the planets very active, but so is the weather. Welcome, everyone. I'm Lady Zelda. I'm with your Fate and Fortune withTrue Oracle, and this is your March reading. It's a collective reading for all signs. You may or may not resonate with it, but you know the important thing is that you're here. And if you will do us a favor and please subscribe, click that like button and hit the notification bell. And you may even want to send this video to someone else because I think it's going to be that important. So before we get started, I'm going to draw a telepathy card for you today. And that's just going to kind of set the mood for this reading. I think we need to set the mood because we've got a lot going on. And I'm going to run over that really, really quickly. All right, so here we are. Cupid. Well, isn't this appropriate? Because as of today, March 1st, Venus goes retrograde. Cupid, love is in the air when Cupid is around. For those of you who are asking about relationships, if you want to take a screenshot of that card, you're more than welcome to. Many people use them as their wallpapers. And this will be a friendly reminder that Cupid is definitely in the air. We're going to put this to the side, my darlings, and we may reference it now. Now, I'm going to kind of go over, not kind of, I am going to go over what's happening for this month. Are you ready? As of today, Venus is retrograde. So that means that we have to step back and look at our relationships, reflect. If something seems to be going a little haywire, be patient, be kind. It's only going to happen. It's only going to be that way until about April 12th, and it happens about every 18 months. So we've been through this before. It's not like anything we haven't experienced. And then on the 3rd, Mercury enters Aries. On the 14th, we have a full moon, a total lunar eclipse in Virgo. This is going to be amazing, very grounding. And then on March 15th, Mercury retrograde begins in Aries. And I just want you to know this. Neptune entering Aries will be for the first time in over 160 years. So this is going to be a time where we're feeling a little bold. There's going to be some new beginnings. There's going to be a time of deep reflection. And then on the 20th, the sun enters into Aries, which is the spring equinox. Hurrah, yay, aren't you? I'm happy. I'm looking for spring. And then on the 27th, Venus retrograde re-enters into Pisces. So not only do we have this reflection time, we may have a little bit of gut instinct, a little bit of clairvoyance, a little bit of even imagination. And then we go into the 29th, which is the new moon solar eclipse in Aries. The Mercury retrograde enters into Pisces on the 29th. Yikes. And then March 30th, Neptune enters into Aries. Now, don't faint away. The Mercury retrograde lasts until April 6th. So we've got 5 weeks, but I think we're right now starting to come into the shadow of Mercury retrograde this March. And I just want you to take a breath because, well, things may be delayed. You may have to take a breath. You may have to follow up. You know, it's the routine of Mercury. You may have to follow up for your communications, all that good jazz. So let's get into the reading and see what really is going on when we have all these planetary aspects going on and all this stuff. Eclipses, Mercury, hang on. Buckle your seatbelt because March is going to be really something else. Now, I have 2 decks of cards to start out with today. We may grab another one if we need to. We have the beautiful foil tarot deck. It's gorgeous. I picked it just for you. And then we have this oracle, the Lenormand Oracle, which is the Laura Tuan Oracle. It's a kind of a cross between a Cartomancy playing card oracle and then the Lenormand. So here we go, my darlings. I'm going to move this out of the way. And don't forget, hit the like button, please. All right. And you know, when we get to 4,000 subscribers, we're going to have a giveaway. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So please do me that favor and subscribe now. All right? So here we go. Spirits, guides, and angels, we are asking for guidance and direction for our dear friends and family, near and far, across the miles, for your guidance and direction. And here we are. Thank you, thank you. First card out, my darlings. Oh, look at this. This Emperor and in Aries. We've got a lot going on with Aries here in March. Look at him sitting there, all stoic, beautiful. And the Devil, who is a Capricorn. Now, devils and Capricorns aren't devils. I just want you to know that. So we're going to relax a little bit on that one. 7 of Pentacles. Loving it. The 10 of Cups. Loving that even more. And the Knight of Wands. We're going to start there. We will pull a different or another row. But I want to just take a minute and reflect on what we have here. You know, this is energy that I wish all of us could have. This is an energy of this Emperor that is kind, wise, that has wisdom and understanding behind everything they do, that takes a minute before they act and react. And do you see that red cloak that he's got on there? Very beautiful. Well, that is because he has compassion, passion, love, and even control in his corner, but especially power. You see that he's sitting on this, looks like even cement. I'm just going to say that, but it's a very hard throne. That is symbolic because being in his position, he can never get comfortable. There's always a call for him to be doing something, ruling over someone or something, a situation or circumstance. And with this being Aries, he is not afraid to butt into whatever it is that he needs to in order to keep the peace. You know, I like this because he's showing us that he's got kindness and his beard there, wisdom, understanding, but kindness. But yet he's showing us a little glimpse that he's got his armor on, and if he needs to step in and take care of things, he will gladly do that. He doesn't have to often. But I think that he's ready. And that is a sign for all of us to be prepared, to be ready to stick up for ourselves. That's really what it is in life in general. With this Devil, now I'm going to say, let's talk about these other cards, and then I'm going to come back to the Devil card. This is a card of preparation and a time for March for preparation because many of us are planning on that brand new beginning, and how appropriate for March of 2025. I do believe that in March of 2025, this is going to be a commemorative month for most of us, many of us actually. And this is going to be a month in which we put action behind our words. This fiery wand is telling us there's a lot of open doors. There's a lot of growth coming. And all we'd have to do is just snap our fingers, right? Go. Let's go for it. Step into action. You know, many people say that they'd like to go to the gym. The hardest part of going to the gym is getting through the threshold, is driving there, getting through the threshold, going through the door. And you're hearing my cat Sam in the background because this is her new beginning too. She's got a new scratch toy. So the fact that she picks this time during this video, well, we'll just consider it a blessing from the cat. There we go. Thank you, Sammy. But this is a time in which now we will all be searching for a new place to put things that we worked for and that we worked so hard for. Now, I want to kind of back up a little bit, and I want to come to this Devil. The Devil card is a card in which sometimes we get laser focused, and that's okay. But then it becomes an obsession. And sometimes even more. And we have to be cautious in the month of March because I think things will be going very well for most of us, many of us. And it's that feeling of euphoria that we get caught up in, that we want constantly, and it becomes an obsession. But I've got to say this. There's a little bit of Capricornian energy that comes out of this in this reading for March. I love Capricorns. I have good friends that's Capricorn. I have my son who's a Capricorn. Many of you who are Capricorns who are watching this, and you don't have to be a Capricorn, I'm not, you don't have to be a Capricorn to resonate, but I appreciate, and I think you will too, because Capricorn in your life kind of is they set their record straight many times. They're the ones who they're the policemen. They're the policemen. I'm going to say it that way. The reason I say that is because they don't like people who hurt other people just because they can. They don't like lying. They don't like the fact that people promise to do things and then they don't on purpose, not because something has happened. They believe in say what you'll do and then do what you'll say. And being close to this Emperor card, which is the Aries, that is going to set the tone for this month of March, because I believe since we have so many new beginnings, we have to be a little cautious, a little careful on what we focus on, what we want, what we do, because we want this end result to be a celebration. Many of us will be moving in March. There will be new purchases. There will be new homes. There will be moving. There's going to be new jobs and new careers. Now, the one thing I want to caution you during this time is that no matter what you do, getting closer to the 14th and the 15th of this month is to read the fine line, to read the fine print, read between the lines, just read. That's what I want you to do. Make sure that you know exactly what you're getting into or even what you're getting out of financially or even in another situation. Make sure that you understand the rules of the road going forward. That's what it's all about. Because during this time of Mercury retrograde, we seem to have a tendency to just sign quickly because this is what we want. And then, oh, it kind of sort of falls apart, or we have issues, or we have delays. So just do that because you want to put things into place. That's what this is all about. Now, we're going to draw a few more of these, and look at this guy. He wanted to come out of there, and it's because the world. And my darlings, and don't you love these cards, by the way? Right now, in the month of March, you've got the world in your hands. You know, a little saying that I have, the world is your oyster, so shuck it. That's exactly, and now, listen carefully to what I said. You see, we've got 4 characters in each corner. Those 4 little characters represent the 4 Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You've got a divine inspiration over you, no matter how, if you sit there and say, Zelda, my life is just going apart. Well, you know what? Life goes in waves. And now you're preparing for that upturn. And you have to understand that this is life for everyone. And the quicker that you can get through this, the quicker that you can smile, the quicker that you can accept that, yes, you have to deal with this, but now it's time to move on, the sooner you're going to get through it. And hopefully it is a lesson that you won't have to go back again for, because this is that month as well. Yes, March is very eventful, my darlings. It is very eventful, and we're certainly not going to be sitting in our beds, and look at the cards coming out. My goodness, here we are. We're not going to be sitting in our beds with their covers over our heads waiting until April 1. We're certainly not going to do that at all. Now, this is very interesting for 9 of Wands, being that fire energy of that action, of putting things together and getting it together. This fellow has made a choice, and he's not looking back. He's put a lot of things in varying degrees behind him. He's made a choice. He looks determined, and it looks like he's hanging on for dear life. But many times when we make that choice, it does feel like that. Look, we've made this choice. We're hanging on to it because it's the best thing and it feels right for us. And that is very indicative for March. That's what's going to happen in March because the Queen of Cups is going to make us very reflective. She is a water sign, and here we are in the month of Pisces going into Aries. She is a water sign. She's being very reflective, nostalgic, if you will, about home, family, people in her life, people in his life, just people in general that have touched our lives or that we've touched their lives. I know many of us will sit this month of March and think, I wonder if I will ever see that person again. And when we start thinking that deeply, it can kind of mess with you a little bit, and I don't want you to get that way. Because being reflective and being nostalgic should start mapping out your future. What have you learned from the past? What will there be lessons going into the future? You see the pebbles here? These pebbles are all the memories that she has, and this little urn holds the souls of all of those beautiful people that have touched her life and who she's touched. Now, that's metaphorically speaking. That's not a mystical, weird thing. It's metaphorically speaking. She looks at this and she remembers. Now, the water and all of tarot come from the high priestess robes. It's a life. Water is life. We can't live without it. And especially now being in this very watery time that we are in, it can be very emotional. So that's another thing that I want you to be very aware of. But I also want you to be very aware of this because it's not a coincidence that we have this fellow in the beginning who will rule when sometimes things get a little unruly and is telling us it's time to stick up for what we need to. It's time to draw some barriers. And this may even be a month for most of us that we need to really reassess what is happening in our lives. And if there's people in our lives that we know we love but cause us a little problem, and we can just say thank you, love them. And sometimes you have to just walk away. And I think this is going to be a month where you're making so many changes. You're nostalgic. You're making choices. There's a divine influence and interference. And yes, I said interference over your life. A divine intervention. You are wanting to do the right thing. You want to say the right thing. You know that once you get hooked on that wonderful, euphoric feeling of knowing that you're going to make it through for March, you've got some decisions you need to be making financially and as far as relationships are concerned and spiritually. But there's also now this jump into the month that there's going to be, I'm going to say promotions, there's going to be commitments, all kinds of great things coming for you in the month of March. But wow, hang on because it's going to be very eventful. So we're going to get a few words from this Lenormand. And I think this March is going to be quite wonderful for each and every one of us. And there we have the coffin. Now don't get scared. Don't get scared. Because this plays a big role in the month of March. And that is the 9 of Diamonds. Here are, look at those, the little mice, hello, eating, and that is the 7 of Clubs. And sometimes this particular Lenormand deck, it brings out the real. It just brings out the real deal. Things that we know are a reality that we need to deal with. And there is the tree, the 7 of Hearts, the number 5, and how beautiful is that? And finally, last but not least is the star card. You see the stars there fainting in the background, and the six of hearts. Now with this coffin card, now we're not going to get upset because I don't predict that type of thing. That's up to God. We don't do that here. I don't play that role, so okay. This for me means that March will have some abrupt endings to some abrupt situations. What did I just say? You may have to end a couple of relationships that are toxic and dramatic, that don't bring anything to your life. It could be anything. It could be a decision to leave a job. It's going to be abrupt. And with this beautiful Seven of Diamonds, this is going to be a time in which, I'm sorry, it's a Nine of Diamonds. My bad. See? Hello, Mercury. This Nine of Diamonds is telling us that we need to make progression. Now, the Nine of Diamonds for me is an air sign. It is a sign of business and legal. It's not legal in this particular case. It is all about business. What does that mean? There may be an abrupt change with your job, your career. There may be a positive abrupt change. I don't want you to look at it as negative. I want you to look at it as the positive. Don't look at it as the negative. Look at it as the positive. Sorry, I think I had a little glitch there. Because going forward, the things that have been eating at you, the Seven of Clubs, probably eating at you, that you need a little bit of comfort. You need to feel financially secure going in for the long term. It ties into things because you're going to make sure that that change happens. And it may be so abrupt that you have to take a breath. But I just want you to know, many times when we know something needs to happen and we're afraid to go to that extra step, the universe will step in and say, okay, here, I'm just going to give you a little little shove, and it's going to help you go forward. And I'll tell you what, those little baby shoves can be the biggest blessings happening. But here's what's about to happen. This tree, you're putting down roots. The tree will be flourishing. The tree can be also a family tree. You're going to be surrounded by those you love, as in this particular card. Going forward in this month of March, this is going to be extraordinary because the Seven of Hearts is a fulfillment card, a time where you're going to be feeling so fulfilled and so wonderful that it's just so amazing to you. And last but not least, those times of you feeling suspicious about the past and about others and should you be going on is over. You're now moving into a new phase, this new time of 2025, where this is going to be a very commemorative year, and you're going to leave the past anchored in the past. With this stars coming out, it also means that your prayers and your meditation have been heard. That's a wonderful thing. So there's no more looking in the past. You're anchoring the past, and it's hard. You're going to be doing it, and definitely so. So let's get a final message from the angels, guides, and spirit for this March of 2025. Something that I've just been saying, hold on a little tightly. And this definitely means, look at that card. Isn't that beautiful? I've got to say that. This is the Four of Pentacles. You see here that he's got 2 feet on his money. He's holding his hand tight. He's got one on his head. He wants to make sure that savings are in place. He's not holding on tightly because he's afraid. He's holding on because he's capable and able. Even if you put $5 away, that's $5 more than what you had. This is going to be fantastic. It's going to be a great March. Better than I think last year and even the year before from what I'm seeing. So, with this card saying hold on, because the world is definitely going to be yours, my darlings. And let me find that card. You're going to have the world in your hand. So no more letting things eat at you, no more worrying. Dig in, get those roots, and believe me, things are going to work out for you, and you are going to be setting the stage not only for March, but in the very many months to come. Thank you so much, my darlings, for being here. I really enjoyed bringing this to you today. Make sure that you subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, because we love having you here. And if you would like to have a reading with me, I would be glad to do one for you. Please follow the links in the description, and I'll put a link at the end of this video so you can follow and make sure that you don't miss a thing that we're doing. Thanks again for being here. I wish you all the best and a happy March, and may you be blessed. Thanks again. Bye for now.